We know you killed him.
How do you know that?
Witnesses, evidence, the DNA.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry, Lord. Forgive me, Father. I sinned.
Meet 52-year-old Sherry Engel and her 41-year-old secret lover, Timmy Rogers. And while they sit here swearing they've done nothing wrong, detectives are on the verge of exposing Sherry as a master manipulator hiding behind fake tears.
I don't know what to say. I didn't do nothing wrong.
He bought a rifle from a guy there for $40, and he stuck it to the back of his head and pulled the trigger.
But even now, detectives have no idea what kind of case they have on their hands, because the deeper they look into the Engel home, the more disturbing the truth becomes. From Fred's tragic final moments to his wife's role behind it.
I've never met her.
Well, meeting her has put you in a position.
Oh, God. Oh, forgive me, Lord. I'm sorry.
At this point, I'm sitting on a mound. You know what this is? This is a mound of information that says that Timmy Rogers killed Fred Engel.
On April 21st, 2008, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 53-year-old Fred Engel stepped out of his home to check the mail and never came back. His body was found the following morning, dragged into the woods near the community mailboxes and strangled to death with a shoelace. From the moment investigators arrived at the scene, something didn't sit right, and the deeper they looked, the more one name kept coming up: Timmy Rogers, a 41-year-old Kentucky man with a very close relationship to Fred's wife, Sherry. They immediately called the authorities, and things would take a darker turn. Within days, detectives had enough to bring them both in, Sherry in one room, Timmy in another. Two separate interrogations running at the same time on the same night. What they don't know yet is that one of those two people has already made up their mind to tell them everything, and the other is about to spend the next 2 hours pretending they have nothing to hide.
You ever been to Myrtle Beach before?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
When'd you been there?
Well, actually, Sherry was helping me. She said there were plenty of jobs and stuff down there, so I went down there for a while and applied for jobs.
What kind of relationship do you guys have?
She helps a lot, She just talks to me when I get depressed and stuff, from things.
You ever stayed at her house?
Oh,
Wow. She's a good friend. Why couldn't you stay with her?
Because she was married.
How often do you talk to Sherry on her cell phone?
Oh gosh, just about once a day.
Have you guys kind of developed a relationship, friendship,
Yeah.
get close?
Yeah, real close.
Has it gone anything beyond that?
No, gosh, no.
You should.
But she's been there for me all the time. I mean, she's been kind of my angel. That's the way I always told her. I always looked at her as my guardian angel.
Why do you think that is?
Because she introduced me to the Bible and everything, and learning the truth. And she's been a help. I mean, telling me that things weren't my fault. She's always, whenever I've been depressed or whatever, she's always called and checked on me. She always called and checked every day.
Up until this point, detectives had been building rapport, presenting themselves as friendly and conversational to put Timmy at ease and get him talking. But that hadn't produced the results they needed. So now it was time to turn up the heat.
Do you know what exactly we're looking into? The reason we're here, the reason we brought you in? You don't have any idea?
You told me that, or somebody told me that was arrested for the murder of Fred Engel.
Yeah, that's why we're here. That's what we do. That's my case and Neil's case we've been looking into.
Okay.
Pretty much everything I've asked you to this point, I've know the answer to.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Okay.
We've checked on everything that you told us we knew. We knew, where your family was at. We knew that you graduated high school. You had a 17-year-old son. You divorced. You knew your wife worked at Rough River.
Okay.
And we knew all that.
Okay.
And the reason we knew all that is it's important to establish something of a baseline with you so that we'll know if you're a truthful or honest person.
Okay.
Okay. We know you've been dealing with Sherry. You say she's been a close friend and supporter of you. I don't question that for a bit. But I kind of feel like the relationship might have been a little more than that. Before you start shaking your head and telling me no, you have to understand how many people we've spoken to, okay? And how many video surveillance tapes we've looked at. Okay. How many financial records we've looked at.
Okay.
And you have to understand the kind of evidence that we're taking away from the crime scene when Mr. Ingram was killed.
Okay.
Like I said, we're not here for no reason. All right. You drove your truck down to the beach, right? Okay. You left on April 7th for this most recent visit. Okay. You arrived either early morning hours or turned your phone on for the first time early morning hours on April 8th. Okay. You checked into the value place. Okay. Which you stayed there before in March. You stayed there roughly about the same amount of time. March as you did in April. Oh, did? Okay. Roughly about the same. Okay. When you checked out, you were paid up until May 6th, which is tomorrow. But you went ahead and checked out anyway. You came on home. You gave them instruction on how to send your security deposit back to you and all that. The folks there, some of them had even had conversations with you at some point. We've got statements from them about those conversations and what they're about. We've gone through their security surveillance system, got some video footage of you. And on that video footage is Sherry. Sherry's there as well.
She came to visit, yeah.
Okay. On that video footage, those the staff members there, they said they've seen you guys hugging and kissing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we'd hug and kiss, yeah. Not like that. But
well,
yeah.
that's not the way they explained it. The way they explained it, you guys were pretty much passionately embraced to the point where they thought they were going to have to ask you to get on up to your room before something happened in the hallway.
Oh, gosh. They probably looked that way because she was helping me.
She was helping you? How did she help you about hugging and kissing?
Because that's what I needed.
Okay. Come on, Tim. What you're starting to do is you're starting to turn off to the left here. You're doing just great. You're going straight ahead. You're starting to veer off course. Hang on now. Okay. I know the answers to the questions I'm going to ask you. Okay. Okay. You're not going to shoot me a line on this stuff.
I know.
Okay. You knew, you've already stated in this conversation earlier that she was a married woman.
Yes.
And you've been seen in public.
Yeah.
Kissing her and hugging her.
Yeah. And
hang on, in a manner that a normal person watching you would feel like you guys were romantically involved. And that's not all I've got. That's just where we're starting. Okay. So think long and hard about this. What kind of relationship do you have with her?
She's helps me out. She's a big good friend. I mean, I really care for her a lot. You know, she does give me a hug and stuff and kiss every now and then. You know, just.
How about the time you guys were saw hugging and kissing together in the parking lot of the hospital in Louisville? Back last summer, the end of last summer. Well, I think you got a pretty tight relationship going with Sherry.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
I think you guys have been pretty thick. I think both of you have gone through some tough stuff.
Yeah, she's had some rough times too.
What she said she's had rough times about it.
Oh gosh, she kind of knows about the cheating part, like that I went through.
How does she know? I mean, she just knows your situation, or she's experienced something like that herself.
Yeah, she's experienced stuff like that too.
Where
her husbands and stuff. The past husbands and everything used to beat her and treat her bad, and you know, and I mean, she's. What do you ask her? I mean, I don't know what to say.
Anything you know in regard to why she would have knowledge of that particular kind of behavior?
She seemed to know all about everything that I was going through all the time. You know?
She didn't really specifically explain why. She just kind of.
I didn't ever ask her any questions because I never wanted to push stuff very much. I mean, you know, I didn't know what to ask. She would just, as I was going through, all right, you wanted to know about.
What I want to know is the truth. I don't think you're being quiet.
No,
100% truthful.
what part of the truth?
The part about you and her relationship and you and her, hugging and kissing. Now, if you saw me in the hallway with a woman hugging and kissing, what would you think? You'd think we had some sort of relationship.
That's why we didn't say much to anybody.
Well, you didn't say much to anybody because she was married and she was cheating on her husband with you.
No.
That's why you didn't say anything.
It wasn't cheating.
Well, you basically already admitted that, Timmy. Come on, don't minimize it. You've already admitted that you guys are hugging and kissing, and that's cheating because she's married, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at the hugging and kissing
well,
part,
that's really the only way you can look at it, sir. You can't really eat your cake and have it too. You know what I mean? It either is or it isn't.
A conversation we had last night, you were sitting on the porch shop.
See, I think you've had a lot of conversations, and I think she's filled your head with all kinds of stuff to say. You're trying to stick with the story that you established with. That's what
No,
I
this
think.
is the truth. This is every step that goes through.
Mm-hmm.
She's a compassionate person.
Bobby, you're a good guy, but I don't think you're telling me the truth. I think there's more to it than that. I think you and her have a physical relationship like boy and girl, boyfriend, girlfriend. Come
I
on,
do
man.
care for her.
I know
yes.
you care for her. And even to even more solidify that point, we've heard that you guys have slipped off somewhere and gotten married.
No.
How come you wearing a wedding ring?
She gave me that ring just to keep on my finger because of it just helps because I've been married for 20 years.
Well, how about the fact that the people in this area have only seen Timmy Rogers pop up whenever Sherry Engel was in town? How about that?
Yeah.
I suppose you had a relationship with her and still do,
Because I follow her. We stay together.
right?
She's just kind of been a guardian angel to me. So I just kind of hold on to her friendship. She's the only person I've got.
Well, let me break it down a little more simply. Okay, you've been seen in public with her, hugging and kissing. She took you to Myrtle Beach. You know, you say that you live in the same place she's living right now, but right immediately after her husband was just murdered.
Yeah.
Now start thinking about these things. Hang on. Think about if we're sitting in that courtroom out there and we're presenting these facts to 12 people, a jury of your peers, what are they going to start thinking?
I know they would think the opposite thing.
Yeah, we know that too. That's why we're here. They're going to start thinking, well, Timmy had to have something to do with this.
Yeah.
That's why Timmy's here today.
So how do I explain?
You don't
that it's not
explain it. You
anymore?
don't explain it. You tell the truth.
That's what I've been doing.
I don't think you are. I think you're doing a little bit of minimization, and that's common. That's what people do when they feel like they're thieves to the fire.
That's always been my problem. I can't get out what I want to say.
Well, you
unless
said
people
a
ask me the
lot. You
questions.
said
So
quite a bit. You know?
Ask me.
You said a lot of stuff. You told us a lot of truth, but now as we're starting to get to the stuff where there's a little more tension, a little more stress, you're starting to sway off from the middle here.
Because I'm worried.
I would be worried too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very serious reason why we're here today. There's a lot of consequences involved with it.
A man who just got caught on hotel surveillance making out with a married woman in a hallway. And his best explanation is that she was just helping him. The detectives have run out of patience with Timmy's inconsistencies, and there's really only one move left.
Let me tell you something else on that. I know every phone call you've ever placed on that cell phone. I know every phone call you've ever received on that cell phone.
Okay.
And you talking to Sherry once a day is a lie. There's days that you talk to her as many as 20 times.
Oh, no. At least once a day.
Oh, no, that's not what you said earlier. See,
Yeah, I
now
left it out.
I know you left it out because
I
that was convenient at the moment. You didn't
No.
want me to know how often you talk with her,
No.
what kind of relationship you had with her.
No.
You wanted me to think you guys are just casual prayer buddies, and that's not the case at all. You
No.
guys are boyfriend and girlfriend and have been for a while. I've got people in Kentucky, I've got people in South Carolina, I've got people in between that have seen you two together behaving like a couple. Okay? That's not coincidence, sir. Not coincidence at all. You've got to decide right now whether you're going to get on board with telling us exactly what the deal is on this. You got to tell us, Tim, because we ain't here to rub you down and push you down. We've got to find the truth, and we've got to do the best thing we can to help you
I know.
do the best you can in the situation.
Yes.
Let me tell you, brother, at this minute, I can put you in jail for the rest of your life, and that's only the good part. There's more to it that can even be done past that. You know what that might be? You know what happens to people that murder other people?
Well, usually they go to prison for life or something.
There's other options too. Think about that. Think about that for a
Oh,
minute.
gosh.
They do that in South Carolina.
Oh, gosh.
And at this point, I'm sitting on a mound. You know what this is? This is a mound of information that says that Timmy Rogers killed Fred Engel.
Oh, gosh.
And you know what else? You know where Sherry's at right now?
Where?
She's at another facility. She's talking to another team of investigators from Horry County Police Department.
Okay.
Just imagine what she's saying.
Probably the same thing I am.
I don't think she is. We've already talked with them. Before you even got here, they had her at the jail talking with her.
If she tells the truth, I mean, that's what it is.
Timmy still speaks about Sherry like she's his angel, completely unaware that she has no intention of returning the favor when it's her turn to talk. And what she's about to tell detectives will change the entire direction of the story.
I tell you what happened.
Okay.
Tell you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Okay. That's all we want.
I don't have the exact dates or times and everything, but approximately, this is May, March. Tim kept pushing me to leave my husband and everything. I wouldn't, and I didn't want to leave my husband. I loved my husband. And he thought it was awful because of the way that my husband treated me, being the European style person he was, being Dutch. Since October of last year, he had worked at home, and I would take his breakfast up to him and serve him breakfast and coffee, go get the dishes, bring them down, take his lunch up to him. Timmy thought this was awful that I'd done this for him. And I kept telling him it wasn't bad. It was a wife's duty. And he said, I can't handle the way that he treats you. He treats you like a slave. I don't know. I didn't feel like he treated me like a slave. So he kept on, and I kept sort of pushing him away, and trying to see him less and talk to him less, and telling him, you know, it's not the right thing to do. I wasn't raised like that. I know he wasn't raised like that, even though we both had bad childhoods. And anyway, he just got me to the point that I just broke. I said, well, just go ahead and do it if you want to do it.
You got any idea what time period that was? Time frame? Was it still in March or was it in April?
It was in April. It was that very day. March, April the 21st.
You said go ahead and do it. What do you mean by that?
There wasn't no stopping him.
I mean, what did you
He
say?
said, I'm going to do it for you, and I'm going to do it for me, and I'm going to do it for us.
When you say do it, though, I mean, what do you mean?
I didn't know at the time what he meant, sir, but now I do. He shot my husband. He walked up behind him at the post box. He told me down at my brother Bobby Carmen's. I went out and asked him. And also in the records you need to check after I've been to Bobby's, that I called him one night when I was in the trailer and he was in my brother's house. And I don't know how long the call lasted, but he said I was very angry. And I told him that you have killed my husband. You've killed my husband. And the next night he said, I've turned my phone off. I don't want to listen to your shit.
That you were here at that point?
I was in the trailer down there by Bobby's, and Tim was in Bobby's house.
Okay. How many days had you been back here when that occurred?
Honey, that was just probably 2 days, 3 days.
So you guys got back on Saturday, so that was probably Monday or Tuesday?
Monday, Tuesday. Mm-hmm. It was after the funeral and everything. It was after Tim had come down here to stay. So, like I said, I don't know the time periods or anything.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Bobby and them could probably help you with it. Selena could help you with it. Mm-hmm. But you can also find it on my phone where I did call him. He said about like 1:30 in the morning or something. And I told him that you killed my husband. I can't believe you did. He said, I did it for you, and I did it for me, and I did it for us. But I said, you killed my husband. Then the next night, sitting down on the porch, he kept coming out to me, and I was very cold toward him. He said, are you angry with me? And I said, well, yes, you killed my husband. Well, I thought that's what you wanted me to do. I said, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to kill my husband. And then he sat down there and continued to tell me how he did it. He said that he parked the truck up, like my back porch is back here. You all been there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the parking area right here.
Yes, ma'am.
He said he parked his truck there and walked down there. He said when Fred got to the box, apparently mailing a letter, which I didn't know that he was mailing a letter after Tim had told me this.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he said, I said, he didn't hear you? He said, no. He said, I said, what'd you do? How'd you do it? What did you do? He said, shh, you're getting too loud. I said, tell me how you did this to him.
Sherry trusted Timmy enough to help kill her husband, but not enough to believe he'd not rat her out to the cops. Realizing there was a very real chance Timmy could already be telling investigators everything was enough to make her panic.
He said I hid in the bushes, and when he come up there and he was facing the mailboxes, he said he walked up and tucked the gun to the back of his head and shot him. And then he just some kind of rope or something, a white thing, and drug him out in the woods.
Get your breath now.
Oh, God, help me. Oh,
Deep
Jesus.
breath, Sherry, deep breath.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I was
Sherry.
wrong.
Sherry.
I'm so
Sherry.
sorry.
Listen to me. Listen up.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry, Lord. Forgive me, Father. I sinned.
There's something still wrong. You still got all the phone calls back and forth between you. Tim wouldn't have pulled up, gone to the mailbox, and waited that night without knowing that
But I
Fred was
didn't-
going to come out.
Okay.
Someone had to have been in the house to get Fred to come out and say, go pay a bill or check the mail.
He was gonna go.
Tim is-
He was gonna go mail them.
Let him finish.
Tim
Oh,
didn't
sorry.
come out every night that week and just sit there and wait and take a chance for Fred to come out. It didn't happen that way, honey. You were involved. Those
Yes,
phone
I
calls,
was
those phone
involved.
calls were still involved. You had to have communicated with him
I
and said
did.
that he's coming
I
out.
did.
Okay. You had Fred go to that mailbox, either
No,
check the mail or
no.
pay a bill.
No.
Did you call him when he left on his own and say he's on the way, or?
You come across a part of the truth when you call him.
I think so. Yes.
You think so what?
Yes.
Guess
Yes.
what?
Yes, I did call
Called Tim
him. Yes.
and said what? Remember one
He's
day?
leaving.
Okay. To go to the mailbox.
I didn't say that. I
Okay,
said
but-
he's leaving. I'm guilty.
You called him. Okay.
You're doing what you need to do.
I'm
I
guilty.
mean, but you called us back and it was a little bit off. We're just trying to make sure
I'm
that
guilty.
we're 100%.
We also have to solidify our case with Tim. I mean, he may not talk to us the way you are, so we got to be sure we have every detail just as spotless as it can be to go ahead and head on with him about it. Because he hasn't been honest with
I told him to go ahead and do whatever he wanted to do. He was going to do it anyway.
That night, the calls that we talked about,
Yes.
that you looked at, you
Yes.
made some of those calls that
But he had called me earlier, I think, and on that sheet. Will you get it out and see when the first call started that day?
Well, I
Oh,
only took it from after the sun went down just to save
Okay.
space. I've got them at our office.
okay.
but
I'm just saying you need to relate back to that because
Well, there were so
Oh,
many
I don't
during
have
the
my-
course of that day.
is your glasses very strong? Because I didn't bring mine.
you up with that.
Can I wear it?
But you see, I started, it actually goes backwards. It starts at 8:46 and goes to 6:47 the next morning, but it's not going to have anything before 8:46 tonight, the 21st.
That's pretty much.
There you
That-
talked to him for 745 seconds. The next one was 216 seconds, 132 seconds, 46 seconds, 34 seconds. Then there was voicemail
Okay,
calls.
this right here was,
This was at-
probably the primary right here.
Okay, that was at 8:46 p.m.
Pretty much, or maybe a little earlier. You might have to go with the other. yeah,
more.
go
I
down
tried
a
to
little
get in
bit.
there with most concentration.
But
As,
there-
as they go a little bit more here and go up less, that's when it was going.
So the calls that were about taking care of Fred, doing something to cause harm to him, correct? Correct? You're talking to Tim about,
Yeah, but the earlier
You said the
calls,
primary call. What did you mean by the primary
these
call?
primary calls, it's not on here.
Which would have been primary
Him
calls.
call when he was calling me and telling me what he's going to do and what he wasn't going to do and this and me trying to talk to him. There wasn't any talking to him then. And then when he did call and I had a long conversation with him, which I don't know how long this is, I said, go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. You're going to do it anyway someday anyway.
what
what
was
I
his
said.
plans after that happened to Fred? Was he talking like marriage?
He wanted to come to my house.
Afterwards?
Yes, sir.
What did he tell
He wanted to come to my house, in my house. I said, are you crazy?
Where did he go after he did that?
I have no idea.
Did he call you after he done it though?
Not for a while, I don't believe.
Well,
I don't know for sure.
Right, well,
I can't
just like we said
tell.
before,
Okay,
you called him at 5:11. That
okay.
was real short. He said
Okay.
he's leaving. He called you back
At what time?
11:42, which is about, not quite.
That was when
30
it was
minutes.
done.
Right. He called you to say it was done. It was 192 seconds. So 11:42, he called back. What did he say on that call?
I'm done.
That's all he said? Because, it was
See,
like a 3-minute call,
let me see.
4-minute call.
Let me think a minute, okay?
Okay.
He was out of breath. He was really out of breath.
Mhm.
And I was having a hard time understanding him. And he said, I'm done. I'm in my truck, going down the road, or something on the order of that. It's over. It's done. Just
He didn't
on
give
and
you
on.
specific detail. He just
Not until we were sitting on the porch, and he just sit there on my brother's porch and told me
You said he shot him? Is that what you're saying?
He probably.
he bought a rifle from a guy at the Value. What is it, the name of the motel he was staying at?
Vague place.
Okay, he bought a rifle, a small caliber rifle, he said, from a guy there for $40. And he stuck it to the back of his head and pulled the trigger.
Wow.
And he said that Fred fell and hit the concrete. And that's when he took the rope, put it around his neck, and drug him off.
You say where he got the rope from?
Huh?
You say where he got the rope from?
No, I don't know.
Without telling you too much, I don't want to tell you everything. Some of that's not matching up. I'm not saying it's not how it happened. It doesn't sound.
I'm just telling you what he told me.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I'm telling you all what he told me.
Most of what he told you is right. But there's a little small.
Was my husband shot? Nobody's told me.
Well,
Sherry is visibly falling apart, yet not a single tear falls from her eyes. And her husband wasn't shot. Timmy lied to her about that too, but none of it changes the role she played. Detectives push hard to get her to admit exactly what she did, but Sherry tries to manipulate her way around it until she gets caught in her own lies. Now, the interrogation is about to get a lot more intense.
that's part of our issue.
Huh?
That's part of our issue.
Oh my God. That's what he told me. As God is my witness on my children's life, grandchildren's life. He said he came up behind him and he was right behind him and the gun was touching his back of his head or neck or whatever back
But
here.
why did Fred go to the mailbox to begin with? I missed something back there.
All I can figure out is I didn't know that he was going to mail the medical insurance.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tim, why is Tim there? How did he
Because
know
I
Fred
told
was-
him.
Did you tell Fred to go mail something?
No, I did not tell Fred to go mail anything.
How was
But-
it going to happen if you weren't going to send him out? You're just hoping he was going to go out.
Well, I knew that we weren't going to be back May the 1st.
Right.
And his medical insurance was due before then. And he wanted to sleep in the next morning and not have to get up too early. And that's what I took that he had mailed. That's why I had took that he had went down and mailed. And when I found like I said, the checkbook that had the 2 checks in it, like I said, I didn't know about the revenue check. And this one for the insurance was dated and everything. I'm just.
And tell me, be quiet now. That's fine. But I'm still find it hard for Tim just to pull up and
But
take a
he
chance.
said he didn't. He said he parked behind the parking area.
Wherever he went, I just find it hard to believe he went up there and it just so happened that Fred went to the
Honey,
mailbox.
I did tell him.
Did
You
you
said
I-
the primary call, Sherry, the one you said was the primary call for Tim to
Yes.
know that Fred was leaving
Yes,
the
sir.
house.
Yes, sir.
Now,
You're
are you
clarifying that, yes.
right? I just
Because
want to make sure
I'm
that
not
I understand
understanding
that.
everything now, but if y'all clarify
Did he
things.
suggest that you tell Fred to go to the mailbox or something to get him out of the house?
Yes.
That's what we're having a hard time understanding.
Yes.
So he said,
Get him go to the mailbox somehow.
So then you asked him to go pay the bill.
No, I asked him to go get the mail.
Okay.
Okay. You just didn't know he was mailing something.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay.
Not until I found the checkbook
But
with the 500 and whatever amount of dollars it was for his medical insurance premium.
So after you knew that Fred had been hurt, do you believe that he's been killed by Tim? Is when
He told me he had killed him.
Okay, so after he told you that he had killed him,
Yes.
is when you went and started knocking on neighbors' doors and asking them for help.
I never left the house for anything until I went over to the neighbor's door and asked for help.
But when you asked for help, you already knew that Fred was laying in the woods deceased.
I didn't know that he was in the woods. He didn't
You
tell.
knew that
I
Tim
knew
had
that
killed him.
yeah.
Okay, and then you went for help, acting as
Yeah.
though he was missing. But you knew it's down by the mailbox. Because that's why
Yes.
you had
Yes.
the neighbors go there.
Yes.
And when he didn't find it and come back, you got in the car to go help him and make sure he found it.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Yes,
going to the car and saying that you saw that the mailbox keys were missing, that's why you thought to go to the mailbox. It wasn't.
No.
It's because you already knew
Yes.
that Tim was down.
Yes.
And that's,
But I didn't know that he, I didn't, if he was parked down there, I didn't know that because he told me he parked
Well,
behind where our screened-in porches is at.
he had parked there at some point that night, but he
Okay.
wasn't there right then.
he could've-
Okay, but
could've
he
moved.
didn't, he told me that on Bobby's porch, that he parked up, he said, behind where the screened-in porches are. He parked there, but he never told me any details of anything else of how he got down there or nothing. He just told me what happened.
That's all we were saying earlier. When we
Okay.
talked for 2 hours, it just didn't make
I'm
sense,
guilty.
those phone calls.
I'm guilty. I'm
You-
sorry.
Did you promise him
No,
to get
sir, I
married
did not.
afterwards?
No,
did you
sir,
say
I
you're getting
didn't.
any money?
No, sir.
He just
So-
wanted you to himself.
Yes, he
He's-
did.
Like we said, he's madly in love with
Yes,
you.
he
He did
is.
whatever he could.
Yes.
But the
I mean, there was
unfortunate
times that I
thing-
tried to get away from him when he wouldn't let me go.
were you in love with him?
No, sir, I was not in love with him. I was in love with
Was-
my husband.
Was it truthful that you had stayed in the same house in your husband's bed sleeping with Tim?
Yes.
Okay, but nothing went on. No sexual acts or anything.
I think the first time he came, we did, but the last time he came, we didn't.
Despite multiple witnesses seeing her openly affectionate with Timmy in public, Sherry still insists she was deeply in love with her husband. She does eventually admit the affair began about a year earlier, after the two met on a trip to Kentucky. But what she also reveals is that the relationship was far from the romance Timmy liked to believe it was. She claimed Rogers repeatedly abused her, and that on one occasion he stripped her of her clothes, tied her to a tree, duct taped her mouth shut, and left her there overnight before returning the next day and saying, "Have you learned your lesson now?" Whether that explains her choices or excuses them is a question the court would eventually have to answer. Meanwhile, across town, Timmy is still in complete denial.
What was it you asked me a minute ago? You said I left it out. At
I
least once a day.
I specifically asked you, how often you talk with her? You said once a day.
At least
You didn't,
once.
no, sir, that's not
No,
what you
I
said.
know I didn't say that. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
Well, it's easy to go back and start patching holes after he gets punched in your story. You got to get it right the first time. You got to understand what's at stake here.
Okay,
Okay.
I didn't mean to leave it that way. That's me.
Well,
I
you didn't mean to because you didn't think I knew. And now that I do, you want to back up and try to make out like you volunteered that information. That's not what happened at
I
all.
wish you knew. Because I can't.
Well, you know
think
something?
about.
I know more about you than you think you do. I know you're a good person.
Okay.
I also know that Sherry probably put you up with this. I know that she probably suggested that this happen. She said something about all the financial gain that she'd have if this happened, how she supports you, how y'all would have a life together and build a house. I know this stuff.
Oh, good Lord.
You gonna get on board with us? Or
I'm
what's
on
it?
board.
You
What do you
sure?
want? Yes.
You drove your truck to Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
At that time, it was still red.
Yes.
You drove it into the Berkshire Forest subdivision. You know what? I've got people that saw your truck there.
Okay.
I've got people that saw your truck driving into that neighborhood with the headlights off. Now, who goes to a neighborhood that they've never been before and turns their headlights off and sneaks down to the end of the street and backs up across from the mailbox station? Timmy Rogers does, because I've got a lady that's going to sit on the stand and swear on the Bible and raise her right hand that saw you. Bet you didn't know how that, did you?
I didn't drive into no subdivision with my headlights off or nothing.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Why didn't you? What did you do? How did it happen?
How did? How did what happen?
The murder of Fred Engel. I think you do, Tim. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
not only did we have a witness putting your truck in that area at the same time, they saw you. They got out, they were concerned about you. They could see you in that truck.
An employee at the motel where Timmy Rogers was staying later testified that he had rented a room from April 8th through May 5th, 2008, with Sherry paying the bill in cash. Records confirmed Timmy was there on the night of April 21st, but he unexpectedly checked out on April 30th, days ahead of schedule. Another motel employee recalled Rogers driving a red Chevrolet S10 pickup. That detail suddenly became far more significant when a resident from the Engel subdivision testified that on the night of April 21st, she spotted a red Chevrolet S10 quietly backing into a parking space near the community mailboxes with its headlights turned off. She couldn't identify the driver or the plate number, and by morning, the truck had vanished.
Okay. You also, take the calls saying, we're monitoring your phone. Okay, we've gone back and looked at it. Okay. We can tell not only every time you made a call and who you talked to, but where you're sitting when you do that. Okay. Whether you're aware of it or not, when you pick up a cell phone, it seeks the closest tower. At the time that Fred was killed, you were making calls sitting right there in that parking lot because we can put you at a tower right there.
Timmy, don't shake your head, sir. I've got it on paper.
Okay.
Let me make sure you understand this, okay? This is the cell phone tower where you made all your phone calls when you were at the value place. Okay. That's how I know you stayed there because I found it myself. Okay. That's the cell phone tower, that camera, that is closest to the crime scene where Fred Engel was murdered. Okay. You made the majority of your telephone calls using that tower because that's the closest one to you, and that's the way a cell phone works. Okay. All of a sudden, just out of the clear blue sky, just before Fred Engel was to be murdered, all of a sudden your cell phone starts showing up in this area right here with this cell phone tower. Okay. Right before Mr. Engel was murdered, you received a call from Sherry. A few minutes later after that, you made a call to Sherry. Okay. This isn't questionable. This is fact. Hang on. I'm trying to make sure you understand this. Okay. Whenever you received the call from Sherry, you were sitting in her neighborhood at the end of Balmore Drive across from the mailbox station. Okay. You received a call. She said, hey, he's on the way out the house to the mailbox station. Okay. Once that call was completed, you got out of your truck, you met Fred Engel at the mailbox station, and you murdered him. Because that's what you were there to do, and that's what you planned to do. As soon as that was over, you got back in your truck and you left this area right here. You drove all the way back to the value place and you called Sherry from the cell phone tower at the value place.
Different tower. It told where you were.
Totally different. We can triangulate you down to within about 10 yards, sir.
And the time it took you from one call to another and where you were. Okay.
You got to understand this. And the other aspect of it you've got to understand is now is where you choose how the people in that jury box are going to portray Timmy Rogers. Okay. They can think, well, these detectives have got it all here laid out. There's no question about it. He had the opportunity to say, yeah, I did it. This is what happened. It was her idea. It was my idea. We did it for money, whatever the reason being. Yeah. But it happened. Accidents happen. Good people do bad things and they're a lot of stress. There's people that are very influential in this world, and Sherry's one of them. I know. I've dealt with it. Okay. Now's the point where you've got to decide that you're going to tell us the truth, exactly what happened, to try to help Timmy Rogers down the road. Because if this videotape is played for a jury of your peers, they're not going to feel very fondly of it. Okay, because you have the opportunity right now. We've got a mountain of evidence. I've already explained it to you.
Okay, what do you want to know?
I want to know why you killed him, first of all. Who did?
You can see the exact moment Tim understands what he's actually sitting in. The wide-eyed stare, the little stuttering. Detective Livingston isn't trying to scare Tim into a mistake. He's describing the actual trajectory of Tim's life, one phone call at a time. And Tim is starting to understand that his guardian angel may not have been looking out for him quite the way he thought.
Ms. Rogers, the question is not whether you did, it's whether she paid you up front when you get to something later, whether it's because you loved her, whatever it is. Because if you were her best friend, first of all, the people that are walking the hallway at the hotel, that passionate kiss you're talking about was not a friendship kiss with tongues down each other's throat. They adamantly sat there, they've given it on tape, as to how each other's tongues were in each other's mouth. Okay, that's not one of a friend who's helping another one out to Bible study. There's more.
It's different
Okay.
with us.
The hotel people can tell how long she was in your room. Okay. And when she left, the video's going to show.
Okay.
Those times are kind of odd.
Okay.
If you're her best friend, she's your best friend getting through times, you're in Myrtle Beach at the time of the funeral. I was there. You weren't there. Why weren't you there for? You didn't want to be seen because what?
Because she didn't think that I should be there.
You're a friend. Why shouldn't you be there?
That's because you're a boyfriend. Your boyfriend don't usually go to the funeral of your husband's
Because it
death.
looks bad.
Exactly, because you're a boyfriend.
Not a boyfriend.
Look, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, brother. I can tell you, it's a duck.
You didn't go to the funeral because people had already seen you hugging. The hotel staff had seen you hugging her, kissing her.
Yeah.
There's more to it. If it's already in your mind, what do you think it's in ours? What do you think it's going to be in the jury's?
That's what
You
everybody
did
always thinks.
Okay. The question, there is no doubt. Put yourself in the jury box. You're listening to this case, okay, and we come up, someone's swearing, they've seen your truck. Our guys are out there. So what if you painted it? They're scratching off. They're getting the true color of what it was.
Right.
That person's going to be able to say, yeah, that's the color of it. Okay. We can put you there. We can put you on that cell phone tower at the time Mr. Fred died. Okay. Put you back at the motel calling afterwards. All the inconsistencies in her story, plus whatever she's telling now. The thing you've got to understand is we can't make promises. Neither one of us can. Okay. But we can tell you, just like he said, we're a finder of the facts. We go to the courts and we present those facts. And somebody's willing to cooperate, it's like we get a better shot than the one that's not. Okay.
Okay.
She's the one that put you up to it. She's the one that said, let's go kill him. Okay. Why take all the fall for it and let her walk away? She's just as guilty.
Despite the growing evidence of how close Sherry and Timmy really were, Sherry continues to insist she doesn't love him. Detectives use that to their advantage, warning Timmy that Sherry has already started talking and urging him to tell the truth before she leaves him carrying the blame alone.
Now, did she pay you?
Financial
I don't understand. Look, she does have a problem as far as forgetting what she says and everything. Or she'll say stuff and then she'll forget what she says.
I don't understand where that comes into play.
Because she takes a lot of medications and stuff.
Okay.
Where it comes into play. Well, you said that you thought she tried to coerce me into doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's something
Let's
that
see
you're
your hands.
thinking
Put your
about.
hands on the table. Palm back. You're left-handed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Chew my fingernails like crazy.
Well, people that are nervous about stuff like this usually do.
No.
That is not the gift of someone who just gives that to a friend. That's a wedding band.
Yeah, it's a wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
But
It
it
was
was
given to you by Sherry.
I always figured. I always
That's it.
figured.
You can put them back. That's all right.
I always figured that she just gave it to me just to kind of help me get through because I was married for 20 years.
I think it was part of the payoff. I think she paid you to kill her husband. And there ain't no doubt about you killing him. I mean, we've established that. That's what we've been doing for the last 20 minutes. The biggest issue is why. Did she pay? Did she promise you all this money from life insurance policy? Did she promise you she was going to buy you a house? Did she promise you a new truck? Did she give you cash money?
She gave me some cash money before, for helping with. I don't understand.
Do you ever make Fred?
No,
Why not?
never had a chance. We were,
Well, you were in Myrtle Beach for about 6 weeks over the course of the last 2 months. I think that's a pretty good opportunity.
well,
The woman who's your rock, your salvation, your angel, it's the person she lives with. Did you ever go over there?
no, because it would look bad.
Exactly, because you're her boyfriend.
No, that's the part that I'm trying to explain. It doesn't
that
look
let me
right.
explain, sir.
So your best friend have you come to the beach all this way? It's a long way because we drove from there here, so we know it's just a reverse trip.
Yeah.
You sat in a motel when you weren't applying for a job, is what you said. You just sat there. So
Thank
your
God.
best friend, rather than letting you come over and eat dinner with her and Fred, rather than knowing that you're depressed, you're out of town, there's no one around who you know, you don't sit in your motel room and chew your nails. She's going to let you do that.
She would tell me I have to get over it. I have to deal my own life. I have to.
Same person that gives you a wedding band tells you got to deal with your own life, but she brings you.
Well, no, not
Some
much
person
that,
said kissing and tongue kissing in the hallway and hugging here and also up in
but
the
I didn't
room.
say it right. Oh,
That's not got anything to do with what you're saying. It's what we're saying because we know it's fact. Okay? That's going to keep coming up. You're not going to be able to say anything to change that because that's what happened. Okay, you've got to perceive the way these things are going to look. If you saw me in an embrace and tongue kissing somebody in the hallway, the first thing you're going to think is their boyfriend or girlfriend or they're married. Okay? The woman gives you a gift that we've all agreed is a wedding band. Okay? Get deeper and deeper, sir. Those are things that you're not going to be able to rephrase what you've already said and explain.
Right. Because that's the way it happened.
Did you see some other officers at Bobby's house when they brought you here? What we're doing is executing a search warrant at that house. Okay, when you go to a crime, no matter how much you clean up, you still leave something. Okay, or you take something.
Okay.
It could be either way. You could take something of Fred's, whether it's material things, you know, or bodily parts or DNA, or you can leave something. Okay. They're doing that. Okay. When we get through this interview, you're going to a hospital. Okay. Okay. And there's a search warrant for you, and that's to collect DNA from you, and that's going to help also. Not only the physical parts of the statements of witnesses coming in your truck was there, you hugging, you kissing Sherry when you're at the beach, you leaving the motel early when you're an unemployed person who's hurting for money, you leave when you've already prepaid ahead of time. You're not going to the funeral. All these things are starting to combine. But once they get your DNA to match what we've collected from the crime scene, there is no getting around that.
Okay. It don't look bad, sir. It looks awful. It looks horrible. Okay. Okay? Think about it for a minute. Do you understand what DNA is?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. What DNA is every single cell in your body has got a fingerprint to it. You obviously know what a fingerprint is and how it works. Yeah. Any one of those cells that are left behind, we can send it to a lab. And that lab can tell us who it belongs to. Okay. We got DNA off of Mr. Fred Engel's body. Okay. It wasn't his. It wasn't Sherry's. I think it's going to be yours. Once we get that blood evidence back from the hospital, there's going to be no doubt in that shit. Okay.
You just gave yourself up right there. Okay. Instead of saying, couldn't have been mine, you just shrugged your shoulders. It could have been yours if it's on there.
Once everything comes out, I'll be all right. That's what I figured.
Okay. You said it wasn't you because your lights, you didn't say you weren't in that development. It's kind of like what I said about you nodded or shrugged just then. Is when he said you went to the development, but your headlights are off. You know, my headlights wouldn't have been off. So you were there, but your lights were on. Is that what you were saying?
No, I was saying I wouldn't be driving around anywhere with my headlights off.
Okay. The best thing is when you tell the truth is always the same. You've told stories in here that have already caught you in lies. It's like you painted your truck 2 weeks ago. Well, you came back here a week ago.
You haven't been here for 2 weeks.
The hotel staff said that you had the truck in that same color as it was before you primed it. You haven't been here 2 weeks. But why all of a sudden to come paint your truck? I mean, my understanding it looked better when it was the red or burgundy than it does with the primer gray. You were trying to hide something because your truck had been seen.
You knew you were seen in that neighborhood. You also knew that there was a state trooper that likely saw you because you flipped out. You drove by and the state trooper was doing a traffic stop and you slowed down to the point the cars almost drove around you because it freaked you out so bad.
You see this camera right here? You know that there's one of those in every South Carolina Highway Patrol cars and it films when a car is being stopped. Okay. You know that when cars pass, it's catching a wide spectrum, so it catches all that. Okay. You don't think your truck's on that tape when that car was being stopped?
I don't know. When I drove by one.
You don't know. You know where you've been, sir. There's no question about that. You know where you've been. So do we. That's the thing why we're trying to establish.
Trying to give you an out, trying to get you to admit what's going on. We've got the tape of your car passing that car. Do you remember passing the trooper stopping a car on the road going to Sherry's house? One time when you went.
The day that I went, I don't know. I don't remember.
Was that the day you took the class?
I don't remember passing any trooper or nothing like that when I took.
Well, I mean, you went from doing the normal speed limit to slowing to about a crawl. The speed limit's 35, 45.
You're supposed to slow down whenever you pass
but when you went past it, you continued. You did 10, 20 miles per hour, something like that. You barely moved.
You turned left on all of Augusta Plantation Road. You went on into subdivision. You know why? Because the lady that saw you there was right behind you in your car, her car, in your truck. There ain't no shaking your head because this lady saw you there. Okay. That's not a question. It's not a debatable issue. It's a fact. Okay. She saw you pull in with your headlights off to the end of the road and back up across from the mailbox station. She saw it.
I don't understand.
She was worried because it was so suspicious. She almost called the police at that point.
Whatever Sherry
promised. But whoever she saw, it wasn't me. I don't understand that.
For over an hour, Rogers insisted he and Sherry were just prayer partners, spiritually bonded and nothing more. But a wedding band doesn't leave much room for interpretation. The detectives have mapped every tower ping, every call duration, every moment of April 21st, 2008. It all fits, and Tim doesn't have an answer for any of it.
We know you killed him.
How do you know that?
Witnesses, evidence, the DNA that's going to complete our tests. We've already done hers, Sherry's. It's not down there. But there's an unknown. That unknown is going to be yours. And this is the person that needs employment, seeking jobs, that needs money, pays for a motel in advance, and leaves a week or 10 days before it's even up. That's kind of odd. Motel staff hears you basically confess, you're depressed, you got things you need to get off your chest.
Yes.
This is right after Fred's killed. You get a wedding band from her.
Yeah.
You pretend you're married. You don't show up for a funeral. She's there for all sorts of times for you. Same time she's at the funeral laughing, you're packing up and leaving early to come home. It doesn't fit the bill, okay? Gavel. Guilty. Bye-bye.
What do I do?
I don't know. We are not here to make a promise. We're not here to make a deal. Okay? All I can tell you is we go back to Myrtle Beach. We take the facts with us. Okay? You get something.
What?
You're getting something. Okay? What you get depends on you. What we present to the courts. There again, we can't promise. We take them what we get. Okay? You want to beg mercy and ask for them, we'll take it. If you want to sit there and say, I didn't do it, we'll take all the evidence, and you want to take your chance on the roulette wheel, we'll do that.
I've never met her.
Well, meeting her has put you in a position, okay?
Like
Now is the most crucial thing. When we go back to Oregon County and meet with the prosecutor, the staff, okay, the solicitor's office.
But I care for her. I mean,
Well, you can't you care for her?
We don't know. I shouldn't have said
Is
that. I wish
when we go back, what do you
want?
want us to tell them? How sorry you are? You want to make it right? Or you want to stay with the lies that you told us today?
Make what right? That you
What
think
happened?
that I killed him?
We don't think it. We know it.
All I know to do is say, find out. I don't know. I mean, you'll find out everything about me. You'll find out that I didn't do nothing wrong.
We know you're in Myrtle Beach. We know your truck was there. We have witnesses. We know your cell phone was sitting off the tower. You yourself said no one else had your truck. No one else had your cell phone. Therefore, the only person would have been you at that site at that time.
Look here, bud.
Yes.
You got to get right on this. At 23:05 on April 21st, she called you. You talked for 38 seconds. She called you and said, hey, I just sent him to the mailbox. Are you where you're supposed to be waiting on him? You said, yeah. All right, he's on the way. He's got on a green shirt and jeans and his glasses. You said, all right, and hung up. He went down there. You jumped him. You beat him. You murdered him and you drug him in the woods and you got in your car. You drove back to your motel. And at 23:42, your number called her number and talked to her for 192 seconds, okay? After that conversation was over, at 3 minutes after midnight, she called you and you talked for 448 seconds. And guess what? She's already admitted to us multiple times that she discovered her husband was missing at 10 minutes to midnight. At 3 minutes after midnight, she called you again. You know why? Let's go ahead and get her story straight one more time.
Okay.
No, not us. You and her.
Oh.
She said, here's what happened. Here's where you were. Here's where I was. Are you sure he's dead? There ain't no question about it. Where is he? Where can we find him? So I can tell the police to go there. That's what you talked about. Well, I understand it because it's right here on paper.
Because I can't.
I understand it. We know,
I
Jimmy.
What night?
Stop minimizing. You know what happened because you did it.
No, I didn't.
You know she talked you into it. She promised you money. She promised you whatever. She promised you the world.
No.
You wanted to get married with her.
I always did want to.
Exactly. We know that. See, we've been sitting here talking with you for 2 hours about you wanting to marry her, and that's the first time you've admitted. Hush. That's the first time you've admitted it. Okay. Every time we push you on these points, you double back and eventually, I've set enough minimization that I can go ahead and reveal the truth now, and I won't look as bad. What you don't realize is you steady shoveling dirt out of the hole and keeping yourself in it. You go into the penitentiary, and if you're not careful, you go into the electric chair. This paper right here is all you need to see, sir. Okay. That's all you need to see. That alone, without the DNA, is probably going to convict you and put you on South Carolina's death row. right here on this paper. There's no way you can mumble and stumble and look up and try to come up with as many excuses as you want. You can't explain that away.
Just trying to figure out
And neither can she.
what I need to say.
What you need to say is why you killed him. Because we don't want Timmy Rogers to be the only person sitting on the inside of SCDC looking out, wishing they hadn't made a mistake. Sherry Engel needs to be sitting in the other wing on the female side doing the same thing.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
forget what he's saying about death penalty. Forget that, okay? Yeah, this may not even be a death penalty case, okay? We don't know that. But let's say life in prison. You're how old now?
40.
How old do you expect to be? What do you wish to be?
75, 80, I don't know.
Okay, 80. So half your life has been in freedom, okay? And you are depressed now.
Yeah.
How depressed do you think you're going to be for the next half of your life? The same amount of time you've already been on earth is going to be inside a cell.
But how can it be inside of a cell whenever I didn't do nothing wrong?
As quiet and soft-spoken as Timmy appeared, he held on to his version of the story with surprising determination. No matter how hard detectives pressed him, he refused to budge. After more than 2 hours of interrogation, investigators walked away without the confession they were hoping for. Meanwhile, Sherry continued trying to manipulate the detectives just as she's done with Timmy for so long.
Question earlier, you didn't understand me. You thought I said jewelry, but the jurors think they'll understand a little bit more now, hearing your side versus not hearing it earlier.
Neil,
Even though it's not,
I'm still guilty, honey.
I know, but at least they see there's some remorse. They know that you're at least standing up and saying what.
I love my husband and he loved me, and I just lost
None
him.
of it brings them back.
No, nothing. It's unforgivable. I said, you know what, I meant that by him not being able to hug me and tell me he loved me and how he took care of me and done things for me and everything. And God, it's unforgivable. I just want to die. Just give me the death penalty. I don't care. I just know that I'm responsible. I don't know what else to say to you all. I'm guilty. I don't want a jury trial. I don't want nothing. Just bring the judge in here and let me tell him I'm guilty. Please. I just want to get it over with. I don't want to put my family through this. It is enough what I did. It's enough for my family and my children and my grandchildren. It's enough. Please, it's enough. I plead guilty. Oh, God. Forgive me, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm guilty. I don't want a trial. I don't want a lawyer. I want to be sentenced. And if it's a death penalty, I want it tomorrow.
Well, it's not
I don't want a layover. I don't want no 10 years layover. I don't want it. I'm guilty of my husband's death.
Do you think that you could have prevented his death?
No. I think eventually it would have happened anyway because he kept on and on and on and on and on.
But that night, you could have not sent him to the mailbox, right? You could have not told him to go check the mail.
Yeah.
And told him what was going on. And
Yes.
So ultimately, if you think about it the way Neil has mentioned,
Yeah, the way Neil's putting it to me, yes, sir.
you could have kept him from.
I think, or he would have killed both of us, one or the other.
He loved you. He wasn't going to kill you.
I don't think he loves me.
He does.
I've never seen that kind of love. I know what love is.
In his mind, he loves you.
My husband loved me. I know my husband loved me, and I loved my husband. We didn't fight. We didn't quarrel. He traveled. I traveled with him. I've lived in foreign countries. I've spent a lot of time by myself.
Your comment at the funeral home, was that a cry for help when you said you could see it in my eyes that I cared and you wanted us to find the killer? Did you know that ultimately we would be finding the killer and that would
Yes.
be you?
I did. I wanted you to. There was even a day that I wanted you to come to the house, and I prayed to Jesus, let him come and let me just tell him. Do you all know what I've been living with? Now it's all out.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we're trying to say.
Can't you tell now the peace?
Yes, ma'am.
We still got one more thing to take care of, and that's Tammy. And that you're the person that's gonna do that. You're gonna do your part for Fred now.
Okay.
We've done everything, we've led it all the way up, so whenever we take him to trial,
Okay.
you're gonna be the person that says, that's the man that told me he was gonna kill Fred Engel. That's the man that called me after Fred Engel was dead and told me he'd done it. That's the man that beat me up in the winter of 2008. We're gonna put his ass in
2007.
2007. We're gonna put his ass in the penitentiary for the longest day he ever lives, and you're gonna help us do that, because that's what you owe Fred.
I owe my husband everything.
But what I was going to ask, how do you feel with yourself knowing that you had kind of helped arrange this?
Unforgivable.
At her sentencing, Fred Engel's brother, Rob Engel, told the court he didn't believe a single word of Sherry's testimony, reminding everyone present that witnesses had seen Sherry blowing kisses to Timmy Rogers during Fred's own funeral. In October 2010, Timmy Rogers was convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison. In December 2010, Circuit Court Judge Larry Hyman sentenced Sherry Engel to 30 years in prison after she pleaded guilty to accessory before the fact of voluntary manslaughter. She must serve at least 85% of her sentence before becoming eligible for parole. I hope you serve every day of that sentence, Judge Hyman said. Fred Engel leaves behind 2 sons, Rick and Peter, who live in the Netherlands. Our hearts go out to them and the entire Engel family, and to everyone who loved Fred. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.